Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. And on today's episode, I am here with Dewey,
Hello.
and we are going to be exploring the new world that he has created for us. And as you can see, it is definitely pretty colorful. I'm greatly enjoying the different trees and the different colors that you got going on here. So tell me a little bit about this world.
So this comes from the FTB Infinity Pack 1.6.1, and we are in a biome known as Mystic Grove. Mystic Grove, as you can tell, is pretty sweet. Lots of cool colors. Water is this nice deep dark purple. There's a couple different mobs that'll show up that aren't in vanilla Minecraft. If we go outside the back of the house here, actually, I can show you some of these mobs that we've managed to capture just as we've been starting to build stuff. So if we jump up here, in the far right hand corner, the little green guy down there, he's known as a hobgoblin, and he's kind of friendly, but if you piss him off, he and his buddies will start kicking your butt, and it's just not good. He acts like a villager from vanilla Minecraft, that once you manage to get enough reputation with him, you can actually start trading, and they'll start giving you various goodies. That is for the witchery mod. We're not going to get into that today, but we'll cover that in a later episode. These other guys running around with these giant backpacks on their back, these are petriforagers, very similar to the hobgoblins in terms of the trading, that once you get enough reputation, you can start messing around with them, and they are from the Thumbcraft mod.
How do you get reputation with these guys? Is it like a quest or what?
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be...
play around with it.
Yeah, it'll be a little exploration. So I see that you have managed to get yourself stuck, so...
Yeah, how'd you fly out of there?
I'm not supposed to be flying. I don't know, there's something with the plugin. So if you jump on that little stair there, and here, I'll just toss you a piece of stair, and if you just stick that down, you should be able to jump on top of that. There you go. Up and over the wall.
Now, you've built this house, but what is this wood? Is this kind of a special tree, or is this something that you had to make?
Yeah, so this is magic wood, the deep dark purpley stuff in blue, and it comes from one of these trees, if we just go off in the distance here. And it's this tree here with the kind of blue purple leaves, and once we chop a piece of this down, we would turn that into wood planks, just like a regular vanilla wood plank.
Does it have anything special about it, like any special properties, or just a different color?
This particular wood, I don't know if it has special properties, but it does look pretty sweet, and it makes excellent building material. So I'll throw you a piece here. And if you stick that in your crafting grid just by opening your inventory with the letter E, and you stick that in one of the corners, it'll give you 4 wood planks just like normal, and it gives you this nice magic wood plank, and you can use that for building.
Nice. So yeah, it definitely does look cool. When I first saw your house, it kind of looks like something maybe Willy Wonka would create or something, you know, with the the bright colors and like the leaves coming off. And so you can actually climb up this though, right?
Yeah, so these flowering vines, we can climb up them just as we would a vine in vanilla Minecraft, and we can come up to the top. Mobs cannot climb these vines, so it's actually really handy to use as something on the sides of the walls, so things like spiders and whatnot can't jump up here. The other thing that's really nice about them is that if you'll notice around the house, we haven't actually put any windows in. All we've done is we've used some of the stairs set up in a specific pattern to make a window-like frame. The challenge we ran into was skeletons and witches and whatnot were able to do damage through that open space, even though it doesn't look like it's open. They could throw potions, they could shoot arrows, all of that jazz. But since the vine is in the way, they actually can't, quote-unquote, see us, so they can't actually attack, which is kind of nice.
Nice. So did you have to, put those plants down each individual, or did you grow them, or what?
No, these will grow. So they'll start from the top, and they will grow downwards until they reach something that they can't grow along. So they will start stopping right about here because they can't grow horizontal.
Oh, I see. And so where'd you get those from? Is those from the trees you're chopping down?
Yep, so if we run over here, there's this tree right here. If we use a pair of shears, we can actually snip each of these pieces all the way up, and it will start to drop the flowering vines as a piece that we can place somewhere else. We only need one piece to start the growth, so if we were to get 5 or 6 pieces from this little vine right here that we're standing at, then we can just plant those all in a row one at a time, and they'll eventually grow downwards.
But you have to have the shears, otherwise it won't work.
Right, so like if I just break it, see, nothing drops.
And will they regrow on their own, though, after a certain amount of time? Then you can come back and chop them again?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh,
It takes
okay.
time.
How much time do you think?
Mm, about 20 minutes or so.
Oh, that's not too bad. But you actually have something pretty cool to show us, something that you made while we were getting ready to shoot, right? This nice little tunnel.
Yeah, so this is the beginnings of a quick mining tunnel. Those people that played vanilla Minecraft, they'll recognize that we're going down to bedrock in this particular tunnel. And what we're doing here is we're just keeping it nice and bright at the very beginning so that we don't get ambushed by anybody. And in our previous videos, we talked about putting torches on the left-hand side, so when we're coming back home, the torches are on the right. That's how we know we're going the right way home. It's a little mental trick that Luminary Xion and I will use. So here we can tell that we're down in an abandoned mine shaft. And this is where fun can start happening. Mine shafts will be dark and scary, as you can see kind of off in the distance here, or they can be bright because we put torches down, and there can be certain hazards such as this purplish goo. Don't want to stamp in that. That is poison. It comes from the FTB Infinity pack. It'll mess up your day. It's not fun at all. So in this case, we have a dead end here, so we're not going to go this way. We're actually going to turn right around, and we're going to venture into the darkness.
So you didn't make this tunnel. This was already here when you came down.
Yeah, so this is part of vanilla Minecraft, and every now and then as you dig throughout the world, you will find these abandoned mine shafts. There can be various hazards. For example, there can be lava. There could be spawners. There's darkness, so obviously monsters can spawn. If it's a modded server, there may even be pools of either beneficial or harmful liquid. And of course, there's just regular treasures and spawners and that kind of stuff to either help or hinder your day.
Very cool looking, actually. I love the way it actually has cobwebs up here. What are those used for?
So cobwebs are simply just cobwebs. That tells you that there are or were spiders at some point. And if you get stuck in them, so for example, if I fly into it here, you can tell that I start to move very, very slowly. And the only real tool that is useful to take these down is a sword. And so we'll just do that. And it gives us string when we break it, which can be useful because of course string is used for so many other things later on in the game. So it's kind of almost useful to harvest them, not always. Really depends on how hard up you are for string.
So right here, this little block above us is actually dripping what appears to be lava. If you were to break that and it falls into the water, what would happen?
So lava, when it flows into flowing water, will make cobblestone. If you have stationary lava, which is, if we look back here, if this were a complete source block and was not moving like it currently is, and flowing water were to touch it, it would make obsidian. And if we have flowing flowing lava and stationary water, it'll also make cobblestone.
Oh, nice. And what is the obsidian used for? That's to make that tunnel or that portal to the ether world, right?
Yeah, obsidian can be used for various bits and pieces. Obsidian will be used later when we talk about Tinker's Construct to make some of our bits and pieces. It's also very, very blast resistant. It's very handy for making constructions out of if you don't want it blown up by creepers. All kinds of fun stuff can be done with obsidian. Also looks really cool once we start using it as a decorative block. But I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these dirt blocks here and actually cap up some of this water so we can move around.
Okay.
It's very annoying when the water pushes you around and you can't really do what you want to do.
So is this the direction you wanted to head in?
Yeah, so we're going to head down here. And we're actually just going to start going down to bedrock. So we're going to bust out our pickaxes. And we're just going to start mining. So if you look in your top right hand corner of your screen, you'll see your mini map, and you'll see our Y level right now is 13. That tells us the current level of where we're at. Bedrock is down at 1. The void starts at 0 into the negatives. And the reason we want to get down to bedrock is because then we can start doing a tactic known as branch mining. And branch mining will get us things like diamonds, it'll get us things like redstone, all kinds of various goodies that spawn only just down at a lower level. This water is really being a pain in the butt here, so...
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to backtrack while you're mining a little bit, and I'll go plug that up from the top.
Oh, thank you on that one. So I saw that there's some lead ore down here. Now, is that something that is in vanilla as well, or no?
No, lead ore, I believe, comes from Thermal Foundation. Yeah, Thermal Foundation. And what that does is it allows you to create specific machines to do various things for you. There's also thermal expansion, which is part of that same branch of mods. Again, still machines to do various bits and pieces for you. One of which is really cool. It's called an igneous extruder, and that will mix water and lava together to do things like generating obsidian. So you can either do it naturally through vanilla means, or you can do it through a machine. So we're just going to keep digging here. And as we go down, you'll notice there's some tanzanite off on the right-hand side that we just passed. It looks kind of orangey. Don't know what tanzanite is actually used for yet. We're still exploring the various gems that are available to us.
Either the topaz ore, you mean?
Or topaz, yeah, not tanzanite. Tanzanite would be purple.
Oh, that's cool. So you can you make any type of armor out of this stuff as like a increase between the iron and the gold armor, or is there?
You know what? Let me look that up, actually. Topaz. Let's see what we can do with topaz.
Oh, look at that. What is that? Water-infused stone? What do you get out of water-infused stone? That's pretty cool looking. I like the way that looks.
Apparently my NEI is still in cheat mode, so hold on.
Oh, and we're on bedrock now. And so
Yeah,
you can't
I'm not
break.
sure what topaz does.
So you can't break past bedrock, right? There's nothing that can break past that?
There are certain bits and pieces that can break through various machines. For example, a block breaker. There are other methods of getting through, but we really don't want to do that because directly below is, of course, the void. And once we fall into said void, there's no way to come back out unless we have something to fly with. So in our current state, that would be actually a really bad thing. But since we're now down at bedrock, we can start counting up and we can say, all right, I want to target, let's say diamond, for example. So diamond usually spawns around level 13. So if we go up a little bit, so this would be level 11. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start branch mining. So right here at the top would be number 13. This would be number 12 in the middle. And number 11 is at the bottom here. And what we're going to do, we're going to make a quick little mine shaft of 1 wide and 3 high. And then we come over by 2. There's some dense coal ore here. That's really handy. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Here's some redstone. And even though I have the wrong pickaxe for this, I'm just going to bust through it for the purposes of the video. And this is the beginning of branch mining. So what you'll notice is that once I'm in this mine shaft here, I can see everything that's directly above, everything that's directly below me, everything that's on my left. And if I come to the other side, I can again see the same thing and the opposite side of that same wall. So really what I'm doing here is I'm exposing quite a lot of surface area without necessarily mining all of the things. You're going to wind up with a lot of cobblestone. It's going to take up a lot of room. Your tools are going to wear out. Just really takes a lot of time. So it's just more efficient when we're targeting something specific.
So as you referred to it as branch mining, this basically just allows you to find the resources you need rather than actually making tunnels that you would use for something.
Right. So if I dig through a little bit here, and we look in the corner here, we now have exposed some ferrous ore. We've exposed some silver ore. On the other side, as you saw, we exposed some redstone, and we can pick and choose what we want to mine as we're going along.
That's very cool. Do you actually have any extra food, though? Because my guy's about to starve to death. I forgot to grab some before we left.
Yeah, sure. So this is some fruit salad. This comes from a mod known as Pam's Harvest Craft. And as the name would suggest, it's a medley of various fruits that grow naturally. And it fills up your hunger nicely. It's pretty cheap to make.
Very colorful.
Yeah, also looks really awesome. So I've just exposed some gold, which looks rather goldish. If that's even a word.
And that can make armor as well, but the armor that this makes is not nearly as good as the iron, is that right?
Yeah, so even though the gold has a little bit more protection, its durability is actually lower, so it'll run out much faster than iron will. Gold is a lot rarer than iron as well, so you really don't want to be using it for stuff where you're going to be running the durability out on it very frequently.
So what would you use it for, in your opinion? Like, what's the best thing that you use gold for in this game?
Gold is pretty much used in every single machine recipe that comes out of Thermal Foundation. You can even, if you just open up your NEI and you type in gold, you can see all the various bits and pieces, ranging from decorative blocks to stuff for BC transport and various gates from that mod. You can have various bits and pieces from genetics for bees. You can make gold chests out of it, which is a little larger than a wooden chest and gives you a little bit more inventory space. And you can make something known as a golden bag of holding, which is my personal favorite. Just a really big bag of lots of inventory space. So definitely don't want to be using your gold on stuff that is kind of basic, if that makes sense.
And how does that bag work? Is it just you can actually store items inside, or are there certain items that can't go in that?
Yeah, so a bag of holding will work very similar to just a really large chest that you're carrying around. It only takes up one slot in your inventory space. So if this piece of coal were my bag of holding, I would just right click and I would say, hey, I have a bag of holding, and I would have this big screen of I can store a whole bunch of stuff. And it only takes up one spot in my inventory. And it looks like actually behind you, we might have hit pay dirt. Yeah, we have. So this is diamond ore. This is for the vanilla Minecrafters. This is the end game material. You'll make your armor out of this. You'll make your tools out of it. You'll make pretty much everything out of diamond that you can, your sword, your axes, all that kind of stuff. But right now we only have stone, so we can't actually mine this yet. We would need an iron pickaxe in order to do this. But now that we know where it is, we don't necessarily have to mine it right away, because we can come back later with an enchanted pickaxe that has fortune on it, and it'll drop more diamonds than it normally would.
Nice. So how many iron, or not iron, but how many of the diamond do you normally find in a vein?
It depends on the server, depends on the mod pack. In vanilla, you can see anywhere from 2 pieces, even 1 piece, so just like that. And you may even see up to, I believe it's 5 is the highest I've ever personally seen. There are other mods which will mess around with ore generation. They'll make the veins denser. You may even get lucky and find dense diamond ore, which if we explore a little bit, we might see a piece that is different. That is iron. You'll notice it right away, because if you look at this piece of iron ore right here, you'll notice that it's kind of freckled with iron inside of the piece of stone. Dense iron ore would be a little bit more iron and less stone, and you can tell the difference right away when you see it.
Yeah, I think we actually found something like that for the coal on the last video, so...
Yeah, oh, here we go, right up here. So you can totally tell the difference between the 2 bits.
Oh, yeah, that definitely has a lot more inside of it. So how much are you going to get from the dense from versus just the regular stone?
Let's find out. So 1 piece of iron ore gave me, well, 1 piece of iron ore.
Right.
Let's just see if that wasn't random, though. I believe that was 1 more piece. Alright, so I have 2 right now. Let's see what happens here. I have 5, so that piece just gave me 3 pieces of iron ore.
Nice, so you get 3 times the amount. That's not bad at all. And that's just completely random?
Oh, don't stand there.
What is it?
So that would be some oreberry bushes. This comes from Tinker's Construct, and just like the name sounds, it has ore that is in the form of berries on the bush. So if I right-click it, I get this nice little piece of metal. It's called a copper oreberry. And I will then smelt this later into pieces of copper ingots. I believe it's 9 ore berries. Yeah, 9 ore berries will make 1 copper ingot.
Nice.
And
so you can get just like a regenerative for your ore, so you never have to run out.
Right. So what I can do with this is I can actually take that bush and replant it later as a plant. The only kicker is that ore bushes, they like the darkness. So if I were to place it, say, right here by this torch, it would never grow. It would just simply, well, actually, never is not the right word. It would take a really, really, really long time to grow. But if I were to place it down somewhere else, say right here, and this were all in darkness, and maybe this is a bad idea because, mobs might spawn, but whatever. Live dangerously, right? And maybe I shouldn't block the way out.
Right. So if you do that, what's the best place to put those? Because you don't really want dark areas, as you're saying.
Right, so what we'll do is we'll create a little room where we'll have all kinds of our various ores, our oreberry bushes, I should say, and every now and then we'll go in, we'll harvest it, and then we'll jump back out. So it'll remain dark inside, but we'll only make it, say, about that tall. So if there was actually dirt right here, and we would do something like that.
But there's no safe way to do that. Like I've heard that the mobs can't spawn on like half blocks. Can you put these things down on half blocks?
No, you cannot. But what you'll notice is that they can't spawn on top of this oreberry bush because there's only one space right above it.
Oh, so you can just put those down everywhere, and then you don't have to worry about mobs being in there.
More or less, yeah.
Nice. So that's definitely something we're gonna have to work with on that. These tracks, though, these were already here when you came down here?
Yep, so this tells you, again, that this is part of the abandoned mine shaft. And it's just to lend a little bit of the atmosphere to the fact that at some point, some creature or person or whatnot had come around during the world's earlier days and said, hey, I want to mine here. I want to make some tracks, just like what we would do when we find a mine in the real world and it's been abandoned for, years on end.
So is there any lore to this game? Like there's an actual like backstory to the characters, or no?
Nope, it is just simply an open world, and it's just your imagination runs wild.
Yeah, because these tracks, do they actually work though? I mean, because that would be pretty cool if they did.
Yeah, these tracks, what you can do is if you look at these pieces here, you can see that they're all connected all in one go. And there's something known as a minecart that can travel across these tracks. There's also a mod known as Railcraft, which we can get into later. We can get some steam trains going. They'll run on coal and water, just like a steam train would in the real world. And you can have various different tracks that do different things. You can have switches, you can have signals, you can start to have train hubs, all of that cool fun stuff. You can even do things like having rapid transport rails and monorails to run around with stuff. It really starts to get pretty intense, but for today we're just focusing on the resources that we have available.
Right. But I mean, how big are these trains? Do they get really big or they're kind of small? Like, can you get inside of them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So a minecart would be about, it'd be like I would be sitting in the side of this block.
Okay,
and
so
actually,
about the size of a normal minecart then.
Yeah, and if you give me half a jiffy, I'll show you what a minecart looks like.
Oh, you actually have one?
No, I'm just going to spawn one in, and 320. So this is a minecart. If you pick that up, you'll notice that it quite literally looks like a cart. And what you do with a minecart is you stick it on the track, exactly, and now you right-click inside of that minecart and it'll drop you in.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh wow, there's more than one.
I don't think there's more than one. I think that might just be a glitch.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, there is more than one.
Can I not control it though when I'm inside?
No, so you would need to have what's called a booster track to move you around, and it would fling you in the direction that you're... That's weird. Why did it drop two?
I don't know, it keeps splitting into two every time I get inside of it.
One is from Minecraft and one is from Railcraft. That is interesting.
How do you get out?
You right-click anywhere outside of the minecart, so like just anywhere.
It's not working.
No?
Nope.
Hold on. Let me try this.
Oh no, we're stuck inside.
Well, that is interesting. Well, you can bash the cart, just the side of it. So if you bust out your pickaxe, or not.
Oh my god, guys, we are totally stuck in here. Oh, this is hilarious.
There we go. Shift. Oh yeah.
No.
You're suffocating. Yeah. Alrighty.
So that was pretty cool. I like that. Oh, you lost one of the mine tracks, huh?
That's okay.
Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call the video there. This is really, really cool. I am greatly enjoying all the different aspects to this game. It's amazing how much effort people have put into this game above and beyond what it came with. Like, if you're going to play vanilla, it's a great game. But if you want to come in and try some of these mods, the things that you will find in here are just really, really cool. So I'm greatly enjoying that. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Do you want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, and tune in for next episode, because in the deep dark over there, I see a monster spawner. Dun dun dun.
Don't forget to hit that like button, guys, and subscribe. And we will catch you next time.
Laters.